Problem 44, Chapter 4. Name each of the following. Well, for A, first thing I'm going to do is name it as if I don't know where my stereocenters are. And this would be named 3-chloro-4-methylhexane. Because I have a 6-carbon chain, that's my longest chain. Chlorine gets numbering priority, so that's 3, 4. Now my asymmetric centers are right here on 3 and 4. So this is a good place for the molecular model kit, if you have one, and assign your priorities. Chlorine gets a 1 if I'm looking at carbon 3. Chlorine gets a 1, all this mess gets 2, this stuff gets 3, and hydrogen's back there, he gets 4. So if you take hydrogen and turn him to the back, then it turns out that 3 is in the R configuration. Now doing the same for 4, carbon number 4, we assign the priorities. This stuff gets a 1. This stuff gets a 2, this stuff gets a 3. We are going counterclockwise, therefore it is 4s. So A is 3R, 4S, 3-chloro-4-methylhexane. B, again with the assigning priorities and naming it as if we don't know the configuration yet. So what would we call this? Well, this would be 2-bromo 3-chloropentane. Now we find our asymmetric centers, and they happen to be the number 2 carbon and the number 3 carbon. So if I'm going to look at the number 2 carbon first, and I'm going to assign my priorities, this gets 1, this stuff gets 2, this gets 3, carbon is 4, and he goes to the back. So when I'm holding my molecular model set, I'm holding 4 in my hand so that the rest of the substituents are facing me. And I find that this is a 2s. Now looking at the 3 carbon, assigning my priority, I have 1, I have this stuff for 2, here's 3, here's 4. Again, holding hydrogen to the back. The 3 carbon is a 3s. Similarly for C, we have 3-bromocyclopentanol. Remember, when you're naming a cycloalkane and it has an alcohol group, that alcohol group is already priority number 1. So he's at number 1 and you don't have to declare it. You do have to declare what number the bromine is at. Now we also have 2 stereocenters here, and they are at carbon 1 and carbon 3. So we assign our priorities and find that we have a 1R, 3s. And for D, 2,3-dichloropentane. Now we look to our stereocenters, and they are on carbons 2 and 3. And when we analyze that, we get 2R, 3R.